Yo, how's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Pokemon Journey series. We're covering episode 102 in today's review, and it's the Articuno raid episode, featuring Ash, Go, Tokio, and Gary. So, how well did they do against Articuno? Well, before I get into that, you guys know the drill. If you're new to the channel, you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It'd be pretty awesome if you would do that. So it's another Project Mew episode, in which Go has a new mission. And this one's an interesting one. He's to take on an Articuno and cooperate with a number of other participants. And as part of this raid, it basically rates his skills not only in battle, but also cooperating within a team. So Ash and Go head to the Seafoam Islands, which is where Articuno is spotted. Technically it's there in the games, but Ash and Go head off there. Now the first part of this episode is pretty uneventful. Even though Go catches 3 Pokemon, a Graveler, a Golbat, and a Cloyster, it's pretty uneventful because Ash and Go are basically walking around the island trying to figure out their way in, which is kind of ironic considering how easy it is to get into in the games. But regardless of that, the interesting thing here is they actually run into a bunch of challengers that have pretty much given up, or their Pokemon are weak. They're not strong enough to face off against Articuno, which is pretty interesting. It goes to show that there's a lot of people that are part of Project Mew. They're trying to do the same thing Go is, but unfortunately some people are just not measuring up. But interesting enough, Go actually figures out his way within the islands using Grookey and Inteleon, and also using Caterpie to basically make their way down further into the caves using String Shot, which I thought was pretty clever. Now anyways, we actually run into 2 familiar faces here. First up is Tokio. Yeah, that guy. All the way from 70 episodes ago. His first appearance since the early parts of Journeys. Hooray. But anyways, he's here because he's participating in Project Mew too. Cool. He's actually in it because he feels that by meeting Mew, he'll eventually meet Celebi as well. So that's why he's participating. Interesting. And then we end up running into Gary, who once again starts taunting Go, but seems to be pretty friendly to Tokio, which I thought was pretty interesting. Yeah, this guy picks and chooses who he makes fun of, or bullies, I guess. Anyways, I head over to Articuno, and that's when the main event of this episode occurs. And yeah, this raid battle's kind of a disaster for Ash and the others, because this Articuno is just an absolute monster. The first wave of Pokemon they sent out get basically instantaneously taken out. And this includes Sirfetch'd and Tyranitar, the new Pokemon that was revealed for Gary, and it's taken out just like that. Holy crap. Now when it comes to wave number 2 for the Pokemon that Ash and the others have, they seem to hold on for a little bit. Cinderace, Lucario, and Gardevoir. Tokio's Gardevoir, I should say. Gardevoir essentially is the support, while Cinderace and Lucario are doing most of the work. And Gary's other Pokemon actually gets taken out, his Umbreon. So he takes out his Arcanine later on, but it's basically 3 versus Articuno for a little bit. Cinderace and Lucario seem to do a little bit of damage here, but unfortunately they end up also falling as well. Now, throughout this whole entire battle, Go and Gary are basically arguing. Gary's basically taking a leadership position throughout all of this and kind of commanding everybody, but Go can't stand Gary, so he keeps arguing back with him, trying to do his own thing. Tokio's over here even being like, hey dude, we're trying to work as a team. This is a raid battle, we have to cooperate. So Gary was over here is like, yeah, we're literally cooperating in this, so please follow my command. And yeah, towards the end, they start to work together a little bit, but unfortunately, they eventually get all taken out. And Articuno kind of just takes off, kind of a little disappointed, I guess. Probably expecting a little bit more from these guys, but yeah. But despite basically getting wiped out completely, apparently they passed their mission somehow? Yeah. So Gary and Tokio actually end up getting 4 tokens. They get 3 for passing the mission. Gary gets 1 for his strong leadership skills, and Tokio for his strong teamwork skills. But Go only gets 3. He doesn't get an extra token. Because, yeah, he kind of was the person that was holding everybody back, since he wasn't being the cooperative one. Since this whole mission was based on not just battling, but teamwork as well. Now, despite everything that's going on, It seems like Gary and Go have actually gained a little bit of respect for one another as they call each other by their names, respectively. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. But anyways, they all part ways, and that's pretty much where the episode comes to an end. Oh my goodness. Was this a bit of a tricky episode? So, yeah, this one, I don't know how I feel about this one. Like I mentioned earlier, the first part of this episode was very uneventful. Go catches a few Pokemon, but it's honestly kind of a drag. Like, I really did not enjoy the first half of this episode. It really didn't pick up until we met Tokio. And because of that, I really feel like we wasted too much time. Like, I feel like this episode should have been more focused on the raid battle, and then Gary and Tokio meeting up with Ash and Go, and kind of talking with them a little bit beforehand, more than we got in this actual episode, than spending it in the first part of this episode. I really felt like we just wasted way too much time. Now, moving on to the raid battle itself, it seems like this raid battle has made a few people upset online, and I do have my own mixed opinions on it, obviously. As you can see here, I really think that it was paced kind of poorly, but that's actually not the issue here. I think the main issue that I do have with this whole raid battle overall is the fact that they ended up passing the mission after Articuno basically stomped them all. Literally, they all basically got wiped, and their teamwork wasn't the best. Like, Tokio was doing fine, Ash was doing fine, it was Go and Gary that were basically mucking everything up. Specifically Go. Like, Gary was actually trying to command everybody, but Go was fighting back against him. And I really think that they actually should have failed this mission, like not gotten anything, or at least Tokio get rewarded with like tokens or like 1 or 2 or something like that for his teamwork skills. Because Go, he was basically throwing it and not listening to Gary. And Gary kind of was being a bit of a jerk, not so much within the raid, but you know, I really feel like things could have been done a little bit differently here. Maybe his language should have been chosen a little bit better. Talking to Go, knowing that he already flusters him quite a bit, you know, but that's just my thought. I really don't think they should have passed this mission. I was kind of baffled when they got tokens at the end. I was like, really? They basically just got completely wiped out by this Articuno. And they're gonna get tokens because of that? It feels like they just got freebie tokens just because of this. Because I gotta say, this actually could have been a great character development moment for Go, in which they end up failing this mission, and he begins to realize his mistakes here, and realize what he's done. And then he vows not to ever fail a mission like that before, and to learn to work as a team, and also not to get so annoyed at Gary in the future. And then on Gary's part, he kind of realizes that he's being a little bit too harsh on Go, and maybe starts toning down a little bit. I don't know, but I almost feel like Gary kind of needs to chill a little bit with him just being a jerk to Go. I know what he's trying to do, but kind of didn't really help so much in this situation. But this really could have been a great moment for Go to kind of reflect and be like, hey, I realize I screwed up here. And maybe he sulks for an episode or something like that. Kind of like Ash did after losing to B. And then Ash is the one that ends up cheering him up. And then let's just say hypothetically, there's another raid battle in like 5 or 6 episodes. And this time around, he actually uses good teamwork and ends up actually getting rewarded as a result. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that would have been a more satisfying outcome instead of them just getting rewarded tokens at the end of this episode. Because it kind of just doesn't really feel like Go really learned anything new. I know he gained a little bit of respect for Gary at the end of the episode, but at the same time, I really don't think giving them tokens was the best idea. I know that Tokio and Gary got 1 more than Go did, but still. Alrighty guys, that's pretty much all I got for this episode review. So overall, a very mediocre episode in my opinion. I have to say I was kind of let down by this one. I'm sorry, but this episode gets a 4 out of 10. So in the comment section down below, post your thoughts. What do you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Just let me know what you thought of this episode. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And guys, have a good day or night wherever you're at, and peace.